What's up, everybody? My name is Lee Shaner, and you're tuned into You Feel Me. What's up, everybody? Here we are on this beautiful black background with these creepy figures and the teeth, because this month's theme is fearless for our 12 Moods project, and music makes me feel fearless occasionally. And the reason we picked you, Denzel, is not only because your music makes us feel fearless in that it is often like aggressive and has an I don't give a fuck attitude, and you're really speaking from the soul about being yourself and true to yourself. But I think you're in the past few records doing what a lot of artists are scared to do, and you're allowing yourself to be fearless in growing, not only as an artist, but as a human. Mm-hmm. So speak to me a little bit about that, about your progression over the last few years.
Well, over the last few years, back when I was doing the Rvidxr Klvn stuff, it was like, that was my first leap into the whole thing. And I was just like, man, I really want to do this. I want people to like me. I want people to hear me, you know what I'm saying? Like, just hear what I'm saying and, feel me as a person. But when I was like working towards that goal, I was just like, yeah, like I thought I was already doing it, but to take it a step further, when Nostalgic hit, it was just like I wanted to do something that was like never done before in Florida.
Yeah.
So the first time I experienced like fear was like, what if like I drop an album and nobody buys it?
Right. That's a huge fear that all artists have, particularly coming from the underground, where it's like fans are so fickle and they want you to sound like how you love, you know what I mean? Like how they found you, like, oh, stay with that sound. And that's one of the things that I think is so fearless about you, is that you're like, nah, you can't box me in. Like, I'm gonna make the shit that I want to make.
Yeah, because everybody want to demand like, oh, make this, make that, make this, make that. It's either they be like, oh, it doesn't sound like this, or it doesn't sound like that, or why does it sound the same? Like, that's what people's perception of my music is. But me, I'm just like, man, I like going outside the box. I'm not afraid to do that, But at the same time, I wonder, like, man, I be thinking to myself, I be worried. I be like, damn. What if they don't like it?
Right.
What if they this? And then it's just like, man, you just gotta live by three things, bro.
What's that?
They gonna like it, they gonna hate it, they're gonna talk about it. It's all three.
That's
just
right.
those three. Once you learn that, you're not afraid of anything after that.
Because when you're sitting on songs like that have maybe a new sound that you're playing with for a while, you have that time to kind of be within your own head, like, are they gonna like it? And when you put it out and you get that positive response, is that gratifying? That probably is more satisfying than saying like, oh, I didn't take any risks, I just kept with what people are expecting.
Nah, if you keep what people are expecting, they're just gonna be like, I expect
it's
it.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. But if you do something they don't expect, it's either they're gonna like it or they're gonna hate it. But either way it go, they're gonna talk about it. If you just do everything that they expect, they're not gonna talk about it because they already know what it is.
Yeah.
So my main thing of being fearless, or just, having to fear certain things. If I wanted to be afraid, if I was just afraid of everything, I wouldn't come out with the half of the stuff I came out with today. Probably with nothing at all.
Right.
I probably might be a 9-to-5 job or be in college just to play it safe.
Right.
Because,
right, because
there's less fear in that.
I mean, it takes a big leap of faith even to obviously do the career that you're in. But even beyond that, you've been on and popping now for almost a decade. You know what I'm saying? You were damn near a child star. You know what I mean? Like, Rvidxr Klvn starts popping when you're like in your teens, mid-teens, 15, 16, right?
16,
17. Yeah, so there you go. Like, I mean, even your parents have to be pretty fearless in a sense to be like, yo, we trust that this is the life path that he should be on, and we have faith in this boy, in this dude, that he's gonna like make it happen. You know what I mean? Let you tour as a kid. Like, how did they find that kind of strength to let you?
I didn't tour until I was 19 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. But around that time, I was just like, man, I'm going outside of Miami. Like, that's fear within itself.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm like, I've never been outside. I'm thinking everybody look like us outside of Miami. Come to find out, nobody has the goals or the dreads or the swag like us. And I'm just like, oh, it's so different out here, you know? And they have a fear because this their first time they ever seen me like go outside the box, or they feared that I might get plagued by what the industry gives me with the the drugs, the money, the women, like all that stuff. And me, I'm just gonna approach it, and whatever happens, long as I learn from it and I'm still alive to this day to talk about it, whatever.
Yeah, right. So you just mentioned you come from Miami. Tell me about Carroll City. Tell me about Miami Gardens. Like, what's it like growing up there?
Well, Miami Gardens is pretty much like Carroll City and Opelika, like put together.
Okay.
And just growing up there, man, like as a kid, you don't really notice certain stuff that happens around your neighborhood until you get into your teenage years. And then when you notice people dying, the whole like separation of sides, and not like Crips and Bloods, but like just, the segregation, And like Miami is a real crab in a bucket city. Once you get older, like everybody ain't gonna fuck with you until you make it out of there. And probably then they still ain't gonna fuck with you. And like even certain ways of saying like, being a nerd from the hood, like people's like, man, you ain't from the hood, fool, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Like, man, you don't talk like a hood nigga, you don't act like a hood nigga, you don't do what we do, you don't smoke weed, you don't do none of this, right? But the moment you get out, the moment you decide to do something for yourself, and the moment everybody starts to take notice of what you're doing, and you're like, I want to make a better life for myself. Oh, you don't fuck with the hood no more? You Hollywood
It's
now.
like a catch-22.
And I was like, well, god damn, at first I wasn't a hood nigga. Now you want to say I'm a Hollywood ass nigga? Make up your mind, which one am I? Because at first you wasn't fucking with me. Now you ain't fucking with me because
you done blew up.
Yeah, I did my thing.
Yeah. How does that
It's
feel?
weird.
Is that isolating? Like, do you feel a certain sense of loneliness because of that?
Nah,
Okay.
it just exposes what the real is. Like, you can't win for whatever you do.
Right.
Tupac said it. People gonna hate you for whatever you do.
Right.
Even Andre 3000 said it. If you grow up fortunate, the hood considers you lame. And he was like, I thought the name of the game was to have a better life. I guess it ain't. What a shame. You feel me?
What is that like growing up being a self-professed nerd in the hood? Like, did you stay inside a lot playing video games, or you drawing?
Nah, it wasn't that. It was like a
doing?
balance between the two. Like, it was like staying inside. Most of the times, I wanted to be outside, but I would be on punishment a lot,
Why?
So
what kind of trouble were you getting into?
Man, just cursing, you know what I mean?
Same.
Cursing type shit.
I feel that.
Bad grades,
Yeah.
you feel me? We never got in trouble with fights because as long as we win, we straight.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they can't see it.
Yeah,
if you don't
nah,
got
nah.
marks on your face, then they don't know you're fighting.
Yeah, they be like, what happened?
Yeah, right.
You fought?
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool out.
So you
the
got
only
bad,
time
you got
we
bad
actually-
grades?
Huh?
You got bad grades?
Yeah, like that's because I think I'm more street smart than book smart.
Really?
Honestly.
Yeah, because you're such a writer. Like, it seems like you're such a prolific writer. Your grasp of the vocabulary, the way you put together words, it's like, this fool seems
I'm
like
really
he could write
good
some
at
papers.
writing.
Yeah.
No, writing, that's
Yeah.
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 I'm really good at that because when me and my brother used to be on punishment, we used to just make up games. We used to make up like all types of games.
Like
we
what?
used to be on punishment for like a long time.
Yeah.
So my brother, what he would do, he'll go to the computer when our mom or parents was at home.
Yeah, right.
Like take construction paper and print out 8-bit characters before my mom pulls up. We'll take those characters, start cutting them out. Boom, boom, boom. Take another construction paper, cut out little boxes.
Yeah.
Ba. Make a little chessboard.
No way.
And then we used to do a thing where we cut the 8-bit characters, we cut the little pieces, and then we bend it. We bend it at the bottom and staple it, glue it, whatever we could find to make them stand up.
Yeah.
And then we'll just come up with our own rules and power levels for the game for whatever character we had. Like say we had, for instance, you got Charmander, Goku, and Yu-Gi-Oh! All on the same squad,
Yeah.
or Exodia and stuff like that.
Right.
And then he'll have characters from that same anime or different animes, and we'll just try to make up our own chess game.
That's
when
right.
that got boring, we was like, all right, we just gonna start drawing. And when we started drawing, we started making up our own comic books. Like my brother was coming up with comics like Blaze and Cold Shoulder.
Yeah.
Like that's one comic I really remember.
What were their superpowers?
Well, Blaze and Cold Shoulder was twins,
Yeah.
and one had fire powers and one had ice powers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And,
That makes sense.
And they just knew how to fade, and it was
Yeah.
from Dade,
Are you guys aren't twins?
Nah, me and my brother, no.
Older or younger?
He's older than me. I'm the youngest one.
Okay, yeah.
So I came up with a comic called Blue Wolf, and then we would just go against like other people. Like it was like Blue Wolf and Derek. Those was my two people. And then we would do crossover comics. And then when that got old, we was like, what else can we do? You know, like because we was in this room and we was just trying to find things to do.
Yeah.
When reading got boring, when this got boring, and then he was like, what else can we get into? I had a book full of raps and poetry that I was writing. He's like, you write?
At what age was this that he finds out that you rap?
12.
12 already. Yeah.
Like
and so
11,
you had the
12.
whole book already filled out. He said, oh, what, you're writing? And then what happened?
Yeah, like we just got into rapping because of that. And plus my other brothers, they was in the other room rapping. One of them was actually out here in California. He was going to UCLA.
Okay.
You know, he played football out here.
Oh, no way. That's one of your older brothers?
One of my older brothers.
Nice. So the raps that you're writing as a 12-year-old, did you what were your influences back then? Like what were you listening to like what were you trying to sound like?
When we were on punishment, the only thing we could really like mess with was the radio. So like everything that was coming on the radio was like, you know, DJ Khaled. This was when I'm So Hood and all that stuff came out. This was way before what's that song? All I Do Is Win. That was way before that came out. Right. And like I'm talking about like Born and Raised in the County of Dade, like all the DJ Khaled stuff was on the radio. Okay. Like we had Gunplay CDs, we had Briscoe CDs and Rick Ross CDs and stuff like that. Yeah. And my dad was putting me on to Mad Music, and he put me on to Public Enemy at a young age. So I was listening to...
I could see the Bomb Squad influence on your early work, like that kind of like wall of noise sound just like in your face, you know what I mean? Like Public Enemy was a big influence for you?
I mean, I wouldn't say that. No. It was just something I would listen to because like Lupe Fiasco was at the time when I was a kid. That's what got me into like really wanting to rap because Lupe Fiasco was doing it and that shit was hard.
Yeah, he's barred up.
Yeah, them Outkast, my mom had the Outkast videos on his little CD and their videos were so weird, but they were so hard. And Andre was, you know, he's a GOAT.
And I know that you got to meet him and had an experience with him, or you got to ask him a few questions, and that really like changed your whole perspective on music, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It made me careless.
Yeah.
Like it said, hey yo man, don't get bored. Just do what you want to do. And the reason why I did half the things I did during that time period because I got bored with most of the stuff I was doing in that time period. Right. So that's what Andre said to me. And honestly, if it wasn't for that, I probably would have never did this to my hair or made Ultimate if it wasn't for him.
So you and your brother are in the house on punishment rapping together and shit. How long is it before people outside the house start finding out that you're rapping?
I mean, shoot. Usually they'll come up to the house because when we get off the punishment, you know, our friends could come to the house, they chill, you know, we be in a den or they be in my room and we be in this room together and my brother used to make CDs and instrumentals. Like my brother's like the whiz guy. Like you know, he fixed computers and like learn about Mugens and learn about how to edit videos. My brother was like really into that. Me, I was just on the artsy like writing side and like going to art school type stuff. So we was both pretty artsy. We was just trading ideas, and he would be on LimeWire or FrostWire and find hella beats, like hella beats, and burn them onto a CD because he found out how to burn CDs. And then he'll bring them in the room and put them on the Xbox because we was making playlists before playlists was even a thing. Like, and we would just listen to them like, oh man, jamming. It'd be in the back, all of us snapping, everybody freestyling. Me, my brother, Tyree, Nigel, Tremaine, all of us in the back room rapping, you know?
And now when you say freestyle, are you talking about like, are you going out the book, like off writtens you have, or off the dome freestyles?
No, off the dome. We was really rapping, we was rapping, like in a back room, not even afraid to go at each other. Like that's how
so
it
you're
was.
battling and shit too.
But when it came down to it, that's when all of them realized I was the best rapper out of that room. It was like, Denny's the best rapper in his whole room. My dad was like, yeah, they told me he was the best rapper in that room. Like, my dad seen that I had an interest in rapping, but, you know, he just thought it was a hobby. But he knew I loved art, so because my dad taught me how to draw. But that's where majority of my interest came from.
So like, being that age and being the youngest and people saying, like, noticing instantly that you're the standout, how does that make you feel? Do you have a new sense of, like, confidence in the house?
That was amongst my peers, but my other peers, like... Nah, they didn't believe that shit.
Oh, okay.
Because they couldn't believe somebody like me was able to rap.
Right.
Because you know, you gotta have the standards. You gotta be a gangster rap. You gotta have the money. You gotta have the hoes. You gotta have the jewelry. You gotta have this and that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was like they felt like I wasn't too gutter enough to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? And I remember this dude named Rvidxr.
Yeah.
He stayed right across the street from me. Him and my brother Treon, God rest his soul, were really tight. And Rvidxr, like, I remember the first time he took me to the studio because I was telling him I was rap. I used to come over there, spit raps to him, or show him stuff that I was doing on MySpace, or just show him stuff I was doing in my little den on the little $5 mic. And he was like, bro, you got mad potential, bro. Like, hey, come take a rap with me. Let me take you to the studio. You know, him smoking dope, like, going to the studio.
Yeah.
I didn't smoke. I was legit.
Yeah.
I met this dude named Wase, and then they was doing things, and I was like, you know, that was cool. Like seeing somebody who records, you know, they don't have to be famous. It was just cool that they was recording.
Yeah, just seeing that like that equipment when you're that age is like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when that happened, he was like, man, you got mad potential. It's just, you know, keep at it and you're gonna keep doing it, you know? And Rvidxr was the first, I would say, one of the first people to believe in me, like before the Rvidxr Klvn stuff, like with my early stuff. And there was debates because there's a lot of people popping out from their hood, like going ham, you know, and Iceberg was really doing it at the time. And he was, you know, he's from my hood, but he, I think he moved over there by New Orleans or something, you know, and he started popping when he got with Trick. And then that's when everybody in the hood was rapping, like this dude named George, everybody.
Yeah.
So Rvidxr, Harvey, and Chauncey, I remember one night, like I didn't even know about this until like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
They was all talking one night, and like they was like, who you think gonna blow from the hood? Like who you think gonna be the one to make it out the hood and
Somebody
like
said
and be snapping? So Chauncey was like, oh man, I think it's gonna be da da da.
Yeah.
Or Harvey was like, man, I think it's gonna be da da da. You know what I mean? And then Rvidxr was like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all boys. I may sound crazy, but it's gonna be Denzel.
Wow.
And they bust out laughing.
No way.
Not Rvidxr.
Yeah.
Harvey and Chauncey bust out laughing because they couldn't believe that.
Right.
Like, he was like, what? Man, him? Oh, nah, man. Nah, hell nah.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
And how old were you at that point? 14, 15?
Like 13.
13.
Like around 13, 14.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this. What'd you look like at 13, 14? Because now you got the whole shit
Let me tell you,
like the look
I had an afro.
Down. Yeah.
I had braces. I was kind of chubby.
Yeah, really?
I was wearing the same yellow shirt every day because I had multiple in my room. I was literally dressing like a cartoon character.
You had like the Doug Funny closet where everything was the same.
Yeah, everything was the same clothing. Like I was in, you knew it was me when I wore a yellow shirt and I was wearing Dickies.
Okay.
And fucked up Vans.
Yeah. What color was your Vans? Was it the same?
No, they were like boat Vans, but they was fucked up. Yeah.
And so like people would see you and not assume that you was a rapper.
Yeah.
You just didn't look the part, right?
Did not look the part at all.
So how long is it till you start meeting like Metro Zoo and Rvidxr Klvn dudes from there?
Let me tell you how I met Metro Zoo, because they was like the first guys to really like take a look at my shit before Perp.
Yeah.
So let's get that clear.
Yeah.
Lofty, me and him talked online because I was a fan of them. I'm still a fan of those.
Is this through
boys.
MySpace or AIM or what?
No. It was through Facebook.
Through Facebook, okay.
Like I was talking to Lofty, and me and my brother, when we got really into rapping, we started this thing called Bat Cave Fam.
Yeah.
Like, cause we called the den the Bat Cave. You feel me? Because it was just like our little area where all our homies would be rapping at.
Right.
And at that time, it was, you know, we wasn't getting notoriety like 758, Stick Up Kid and them boys in Scott Lake and Bird Gang and all them, or like Iceberg, you know. We wasn't getting that type of notoriety because, you know, people didn't want to listen to us. We was trying to do it in the hood. Like, we was trying to do that shit. And, you know, I talked to Lofty about it because I was like, I'm a big fan of them boys. And I was telling them, like, yo, man, these guys are dope. Like, I was telling my homie Khalil, like, man, these guys are dope, man. He was like, yeah. Well, he was into the weekend and stuff, and he put me on the weekend.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I'm telling you guys, these guys are really good. Da, da, da. And I talked to Lofty online because, come to find out, Lofty and my cousin Dietrich are really close.
No way.
Yeah.
Did Lofty live close to you?
Lofty lived in Miami Shores, which is Koki Shores, what we call it. And I lived in Carol City, which is Blackland, what Perp called it.
Okay.
And
it's like not more than a bus ride away, probably. Huh?
Yeah, it's like a couple bus rides away, but you'll get there.
Yeah.
Man, I talked to him online, and I wanted to be an admin, just you know, like to kind of help me with my the Batcave fam thing.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to join people, and he was like, yo, come by the Zoo Mansion and stuff like that. And my homie Marlon Pruz, who went to Dash with me, he was really tight with them boys at the time. So it wasn't just my cousin. Like, my other homie was actually tight with them. And my friend Sebastian, like, me and him loved Metro Zoo music. And then he put me on to Lower Letter and L. Elliott and, you know, Skunk Ape Gang and all these guys. And I was like, man, like, these guys are, like, really, like, doing it from Miami on that side. And it's like, it's shit I could get into, like, shit I fuck with.
Did they already have that sort of, like, had they already established that sort of, like, real solid lo-fi Florida underground sound already at that point when you were talking to them?
Nah, I mean, they kind of was like, they was on their shit.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
They was on their shit. They was just pumping music and it was fire.
Yeah, right.
Like the beats, like sometimes it just be beats and it'd be like weird beats like like electro zap. I didn't even know what electro zap was, you know?
Right.
And also, the first thing I ever heard from them was Kush Pack 1. And Kush Pack 1 is amazing. Like structure wise, like just all it was a mood. And I was like, man, this is crazy. And I remember getting kicked out of art school. That's all I would listen to because I missed it. But it was like, damn. Like, my life was just beginning at that point.
Right. And so Metro Zoo introduces you to Space Ghost then, or Space Ghost reaches out to you separate? Sorry.
I reached out to Space Ghost Perp.
Okay, you hit him up.
Who gave me the number to Space Ghost Perp is this guy named Mike DC.
I know Mike DC.
Yeah,
I know
he gave me Space Ghost Perp's number because me and him became friends over the internet because we're both Odd Future fans.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's one thing. Like, Odd Future was life to me at one point.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that 2010 year, like 2010, 2011, it was like such a fucking enormous shift in the culture because of those guys. I feel like they really redefined what the industry was, you know? Yeah.
That was life. And then when Perp and them came out and Perp was starting to fuck with Rocky, that was like, this was reality because it was like, damn, this is a Carrot City nigga doing this shit and putting this shit all together. I'm like, damn. Like, I could do the same thing when nobody didn't want to believe in me, you know?
Right.
And he was like, look, and then Mike DC was like, we're going to be better than Rvidxr Klvn. Well, not Rvidxr Klvn. We're going to be better than Metro Zoo, Perp, all them dudes, bro. And I was just like, I took that and I was like, we are.
Yeah.
You know?
You just ran with it.
Yeah, I just ran with it.
Yeah.
And he gave me Perp's number. After I heard Sand 2011, you know, suck a nigga dick for 2011. Like, he said, rest in peace, Jit. And that's when I flipped it back a couple times. I remember this day like no other. And then I was like, man, where is he from? Is he from Carrot City? So I went on his Facebook, tried to find anything I found on Space Ghost Perp. And I finally found his page. And the caption, like the bio, it said, born in Carrot City, Florida. So I was like, it blew my mind because I was like, this is somebody that's from my hood doing shit I want to do.
Right.
And it's not judged for it. And it actually sounds hard.
Yeah. So you felt like you found a kindred spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was putting like my best friend, like to this day, me and him was super huge Odd Future friends. His name's Shane. We call him Lucy. But I told him about Space Ghost Perp. And he was like, yo, this shit is fire. And then we just started copping Raider gear.
Yeah.
Like the whole, like, me when I had the low boy, I was like, man, I was wearing black. I had a money bandana. I folded it, tied it around my head like Ice Cube on Today Is a Good Day.
Yeah, right.
And I would just walk around the hood.
Yeah.
Looking like that.
Yeah.
Like
that's like when you found your look.
Yeah.
That, like you started thinking past the afro, past the yellow shirt.
Yeah, I cut the afro and I was just like,
yeah, right.
I'm gonna go out.
So was that like a newfound sense of confidence around that time too? Like that was another step in the growth?
Yeah, because I wasn't confident in my, you know, from elementary, middle school on to I think 10th grade when I got kicked out. That's what broke the camel's back. Like I didn't have no girls like me. Like I was stank. I ain't gonna lie. Like I was musty. I'm not afraid to tell you that shit because it was real shit.
Right.
But nobody didn't want to fuck with me, you know what I'm saying? I would get roasted. I would get ranked on every day. I still get ranked to this day, but I don't take it personal because, you know what I'm saying? It's like...
let me ask you a question. Okay, so you're talking about this really developmental stage in your life, right? Where you're like 15, 16, you're meeting all these people that's the time when most kids are meeting their lifelong friends, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I have to think about it contextually. You're meeting kids that also have the goal of blowing up in the rap industry, right? Which is like notoriously tumultuous for friendships. Like being in an industry like music makes it hard to maintain friendships. So as you've gotten older, have you found that like you had that same opportunity to meet lifelong friends? Because I notice on songs like Switch It Up, you have a little bit of like that industry paranoia, like where now you meet people and you're not sure if they want something from you or if they're a genuine person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't trust nobody at the end of the day, you know. I only trust.
Where does that come from, you think?
I don't know, man. This is my old boy, you know, my old boy and my old girl, especially my old girl, like my mom's.
Yeah.
Like she was like, don't trust none of these motherfuckers, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could give 110% for them and they could barely give you 50, you know? So.
Well, now that you're fresh out in LA, do you have people though that you're like day ones that you can trust no matter what?
Yeah, my best friend Shane, because he stays right down from me. So. Like, that's my dog. He's out here. Yeah. So that's all I really need. Him and
that's
my
like
girl.
brain
that's
trust and support, basically.
Plain trust.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, right. So how long is it before the Rvidxr Klvn stuff starts really gaining traction for you on Facebook or SoundCloud? Really,
it really happened when I dropped King Remembered Underground Tape 1991 to 1995.
Yeah.
And I put it on Perp's page and all his fans started fucking with it. And it was like, yo, this is crazy. He's part of Rvidxr Klvn too. And Perp was like, yeah, he's part of Rvidxr Klvn.
And that was it.
That was it. And me and him had conversations about it. Perp used to send me, I sent him a video called Black Blaze. Yeah. And he put it up. Yeah. And, you know, if you look in the video, you could tell, like, I didn't have, you know, luxurious type stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, even I was a poser skateboarder, you feel me? I ain't gonna lie. Like, I seen Scar at one time. The only trick I know how to do is an ollie, to be real.
That's more than most.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's the least I could do.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Skullcandy wanted to show you some love for listening by hooking you up with 15% off your next purchase. Head over to skullcandy.com and use the code YouFeelMe19 at checkout to get 15% off anything site-wide. When you guys are making those old tapes where all the A's and V's are switched around and shit, and you know, the 91 to 93 type style, is that all like an homage to 3 6 Mafia's old tapes?
It was all
an
aesthetic. Yeah, it was all aesthetic. It wasn't just the homage to 3 6. No. Yeah, it was a homage to everything that we grew up in the 90s. That was what it was. Yeah, and when it came down to just like the style of the tape, like you could hear like, me spitting fast and me doing this and this Memphis style and this, but you get also glimpses of boom bap in there, like. Yeah,
totally. I mean, you could tell you have a lot of references to boom bap music or just like old school rap in general. I mean, even like the new Zeltron shit, clearly like a nod to Deltron, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. So, but what is an interesting factoid that you told me about yourself in a previous time we talked is that you just like went down a Wikipedia K-hole and that's how you taught yourself about rap, right? You told me, okay, maybe this is inaccurate, but you said like, all right, look, I liked Souls of Mischief, so I got on Wikipedia and I started looking up Souls of Mischief, and then I found out they was fans of Farside, and then, or like they were friends with Farside, and then Farside got me to Freestyle Fellowship, and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, exactly. All that happened at one time. Yeah. Because I loved 93 to Infinity, and I heard that tape, and then I was getting into hieroglyphics, and then I was getting into the Freestyle Fellowship, and then I was geting into Farside, and all that shit just came all together. Yeah. And that's what my daily playlist going to Carol City.
So when you put out Nostalgia 64, that's a big tape for you, right? That has some hits that like really crossed over and got you a much larger audience, right?
Yeah, Nostalgic.
Nostalgic, I'm sorry. What starts happening in your life at that point?
Man, it was weird because like I'm thinking like, all right, everybody's going, you know, fuck with me after this. Yeah. The fans did. Yeah. But it was just like amongst my peers, it was like, yo, like, so, okay, I see how it is. It was like that. I don't want to get into detail, but it was just like, damn, I was receiving like, not hate, but, well, yeah, hate. Yeah. Why am I even sugarcoating it? Yeah, I received hate from directions of from my peers. Yeah. And on certain ones was cool. And then it was just like people from my own camp. And I was like, yo, what? Why y'all hot? You know what I'm saying? That I'm actually doing good, you know? Right. And I like, because I would tweet everyone's music. I would tweet it because I believed in everyone. Yeah. And then the moment, like, I be the one to, like, blow up, I get the backlash.
And that's kind of what I was getting at. Was like,
I was like, I get the short end of the stick. And I'm like, the fuck, bro? Like, I tweet your shit on willy-nilly, like, you know?
Yeah.
There's no if, ands, or buts about it.
Right.
Even when things was going down between you and such, like, no, like, you was my dog. Right. And now I get the hate because you didn't expect me to be the person I became.
Right. Like, they didn't expect you to be, like, the one that would go there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was getting at with the, like, rap groups or rap friends in general, with it being like hard to maintain those relationships. It's because when you've got a lot of people that are trying to achieve the same goal, you often start to see the real sides of people once somebody is the first one to make it. You know what I mean? Like, some of that latent kind of bitterness might come out of people, and they start to expose themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a few that remain cool, you know. I'm still cool with everyone to this day now. Yeah. You know, all that shit is blown over. Right, you can't change what happened. So, like, that's all right.
Right.
But back then it wasn't all right. It was not cool. It wasn't.
It was probably surprising, yeah?
It was surprising because I'm thinking, like, we all in this together. Why are y'all tripping on me for?
Mm-hmm. And how do you react to it? Do you try to, like, get rid of the toxic people? Do you try to heal those relationships? Like, what did you try to do?
I tried to do both.
Yeah.
And it didn't work that way. Sometimes you just need to snap.
Yeah. Yeah. And so did that kind of pile on to the trust issues, you think? Like, oh, I'm going to double down on this, like, fuck everybody?
Yeah. Like, hoes piled on to trust issues. Friends that only was your friend because they could get something out of you piled on to trust issues. Yeah. You know, people turning your back on you, you know what I'm saying, piled on to trust issues. Yeah. Like, your hood not accepting you when in the very beginning they didn't accept you, and they probably would accept you when you're in the same boat as them. Mm-hmm. You know, like, turning your back on you. It's like, what the fuck, bro? And then, what's the point?
That's a confusing thing to be going through at such a young age, I feel like. You know,
and nobody understood that. Yeah. Even your friends being like, why you do this for him and you don't do this for me? Because I'm not holding everybody's hand, bro. Right. Like, I'm not doing that. Yeah. Like, if you really want to be on the same level, go out there and get it yourself. Yeah. Because I could say nobody helped me. No, I could say that. Yeah. But I didn't, because people helped me along the way. And I tried to help you along the way. But I can't help you if you can't help yourself.
Right. That's got to be such a hard burden to bear, too, just because you reached a level at such a young age where it's like not a lot of people ever experiencing that in their whole life. So, like, who do you even look to for advice or guidance at that point? You're having to figure it out on your own the whole time, huh?
Right.
Yeah. But you have a good team around you. And
I have a great team.
They've been around you for a while, too, yeah? Yeah, years.
Years.
How did you link up with your team?
Well, me and Mark, we met online. We met at on Facebook, actually. And he heard my last album. Well, not my last album. He heard King Remember It. But the song that got him into me was on Creep Devils that Perp posted up. And he was like, damn, is this Perp? And it was like, nah, that's Denzel Curry. That's like, it's like, he's part of Rvidxr Klvn as well. And he was like, man, this guy sounds dope. So he thought I was a grown-ass man. So when we was talking, he was like, yo, you got to come out, come to Peach Fuzz, this, that, and third. And I was like, bruh, I can't. He was
I don't
like,
have ID.
No, not even that. And he was like, why you can't? And I was like, I got school tomorrow. He was like, school? You in college? No, I'm in high school. He was like, what? How old are you? 16. He was like, what the fuck? Like, it blew his mind, because he was like, you sound like a grown-ass man. But I lived a life of going through turmoil and trauma. You know, there's happy moments and there's sad moments. But I went through a lot of shit that I could speak about. Yeah.
How do you deal with the trauma now?
Therapy.
You going to therapy?
I go to therapy.
That's great, man. I mean, hey, let me talk about...
I gotta learn how to live with myself.
Talk about fearlessness. A lot of people are scared to ever face those demons and never get into therapy. So I think that's a great thing. I think, like, your audience will probably embrace that. Like, how long have you been going?
Everybody should embrace therapy, because
what have you been learning about
especially for
yourself?
The black community, because, like, a lot of things happen to us, like, in the black community that we don't speak about. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes down to abuse, like sexual abuse, or just like not having a parent at home. Like addictions, just everything. And we pile all that stuff on. And plus, when you know the police isn't on our side, it really piles onto a lot of stuff. And nobody seeks help because they thinking like, oh, I'm a man, I'm strong, So wait a minute. So you mean to tell me being a man is not having any emotion at all or any type of feeling at all, and just bottling that shit up until eventually gives you cancer or eats you alive or drives you to kill yourself?
Man.
You're actually having the toxic in your body.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So when a man cries, he's a bitch. When a woman cries, she's a woman. That doesn't make sense.
Right, right. What was it that got you into therapy? Like, how did you get over that mental block that a lot of people have going like, I don't need this, I don't want to do this? Like,
I was
there
one of them people.
Yeah.
But man, I broke down. It felt like I felt heavy, man.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was a heavy feeling, and I had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I had to let it go. I had to figure out how to learn to deal with myself, how to learn to, hold on, like not hold on to stuff, let stuff go.
Right.
And like whatever that does trigger me, how can I use those triggers in my life to make things better?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like what triggers me emotionally? How can I put this into music or into writing or into art? How can I do that?
Recognizing those symptoms
How
and being
do I
able
get
to
the
deal with them
stress levels
positively.
away? Like how you do that?
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that.
Have you been feeling lighter since you've been going?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit happens to me every day.
Of course.
Shit happens to me every day. But it's the fact that I'm alive. I have a great job that I love doing. I have my health. My health could improve. But at the same time, I'm good, man.
That's great. I mean, I think that's such a positive thing, and I think like everything you spoke about therapy and particularly how it relates to the Black community, man, that's like a very powerful message. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not just the Black community though, but particularly the Black community does not have that help.
Right.
Every other community has it.
Right.
The white community has it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When you speak about that childhood trauma, I mean, I think just being
like I wouldn't even just say Black. I would say minority.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Black, Latino, it doesn't matter. They need that help.
Absolutely.
Or it'll go crazy.
Right, right. Being from Carroll City, I mean, I think Miami Gardens, Carroll City, and what was the other one you said? Started with
Miami Gardens is Carroll City and Opa-locka, yeah.
I was reading that that's the biggest, the densest population of Black folks in all of Florida is that city. So I would imagine that is probably very heavily policed, and that probably causes a lot of trauma too, just seeing how you can't trust authority in your own neighborhood. You know what I mean?
What the thing is, like, one thing my father said, like, because my brother died from police violence, So it was just like, my brother had mental issues. And it was just the fact that I think cops shouldn't shoot. You know what I'm saying? They should figure out what's the problem.
Yo, you're
like what's
preaching
going
to the
on
choir right now.
Like,
de-escalate. It needs to de-escalate
the situation. That's what you're there for, to protect and serve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not do this, that, and the third because you have power, but that's what they realize, they got power. So it's just like you should use your ability to talk to the person like, what's going on?
Yeah.
How can I help you? Do you want to go here?
Right.
Are you okay?
Right.
What's triggering you? They should be able to like talk.
Yeah, there seems to be a distinct lack of empathy where if you enter every situation as though it's life or death, then it's always going to end in death. You know what I'm saying?
It's like it was me or him, but the guy didn't have nothing on him.
Right.
You don't know that.
You can't
His hands
shoot
was
first
literally
and ask
up.
questions
Like,
later. Yeah, I feel that.
You have to see what's going on in the situation. Sometimes, most times, the police officer is in the wrong. And I ain't going to say that every Black man is Nelson Mandela. It's not.
Right. Right.
But everybody's not,
but still, everybody
on both ends.
But everybody deserves a fair shot, though. You feel me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe if police start treating us better, the Black community would start treating them better.
Right. Give respect to get it.
Exactly.
Yeah. How has this newfound kind of like self-reflection and going to therapy and learning coping mechanisms and trying to reflect things in a positive light, like how has that affected your creative process on the upcoming record? On the record that's already out by the time
I express the way I feel. I have I don't think about the opinion first.
Yeah.
I shoot first. That's when it comes down to my creation. Shoot first, then we ask questions later. All right, we just shot first. Do we like it? Yeah. How much? 9, 10 scale? 10? It's there.
Yeah.
Okay. Shot first. Opinion. You don't like it? Scrap it. Fuck it. Leave it alone. It's just a draft. It's done. Next thing. Mediocre, we'll put it right here. See if it grows on me.
Right.
That's how we do it.
Right. So did you find yourself then in the past like thinking first about, oh man, what are people gonna think of this? Was that like the footsteps that you always heard? And if so, what record changed that for you?
I mean, Nostalgic did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I thought I had to recreate Nostalgic, which I seen as 32 Zell Planet Shrooms, which in most of my fans' eyes, that was a failure, and most of them, and some of them like it. And then I'm just like, okay, in my eyes, it was a failure, you know? But that's the point of being in the business. You can't be afraid to fail. Like, everybody done failed once or twice in their life, you know?
Right. You got to fail hard and fail fast.
You got to fail hard, fail fast, so you can learn from that shit and get up.
That's right. It's never a failure. It's just like learning how to win.
Yeah.
You know?
Learn how to beat the shit.
Hey, that's it. We gotta get off here and just write our own little self-help book. You feel me? Now, so how did you feel about the response to Taboo? Because you released it in a new way, right? You put out a few songs 3 weeks in a row.
I love the response for Taboo.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like it, I don't give a fuck.
It's a very well-rounded record. It shows a lot of different sides of you, I think. You know what I mean? You've got stuff that's like full-on pop songs that feel like old school hip-hop, all the way to like the aggressive like mosh tear somebody's head up shit or head off shit, like the closing song. What's the last song on the record called?
BMT, Black Metal Terrorist.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that makes me want to rip somebody's head off. And there's other jams that is just like, oh, I could put this on at a picnic or something. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that something that you were really shooting for going into the making of that record?
When I was making that record, I started off in the dark part, and then I was trying to progressively work towards my happiness. It was like at that time I'm trying to work towards my happiness. I still try to work towards my happiness because you have them little gray areas and them little black areas. But other than that, like it's a constant cycle of life. That's what I treated the album as, and then I was just developing it as I went along. And boom, it took me 2 years, but I was able to get enough feelings out.
Am I crazy for thinking that the parts that you say are the dark part of the album maybe deal with darker subject matter but sound happier? Like they sound lighter. At the beginning there you say, welcome to the dark part of Taboo. And it's on a happy ass song.
That was like alluding.
Oh, okay.
That was alluding because, man.
Kind of revealing the theme, I guess.
Revealing the theme.
Yeah, okay.
People don't get that.
Okay.
It's just like, welcome to the darker side of Taboo, because the album's going to end dark. Most of my albums end light.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I get it now. Because it does. It starts light and then it gets heavier and heavier as it goes on. Exactly. What's it working with some of your like real barred out contemporaries like JID, JPEG Mafia? Like, is it fun keeping up with those guys in the studio?
Yeah, actually it is. Like most of those guys could rap, so
yeah, they got
and
bars.
they know I could rap, so it's always a constant competition. Like it's a friendly competition. It's a competition nonetheless, but I compete with myself when it comes down to really making my music and making what's good. You know, that's what I do.
But you're a fan of rap competition in general, aren't you? Because you shout out Loaded Lux on the new record. So do you watch a lot of...
Loaded Lux is tight. Look at me, King.
Fire.
Look
hey,
at me.
He gonna get this work.
You gonna get this work.
That's right. Do you watch a lot of rap battles?
I do.
Yeah. Man, it has really become its own world, isn't it? It's like a different lexicon than like mainstream rap world. Like it's like you really got to be involved and follow along to even understand what's going on now, huh?
Yeah, I have rappers that I like. I like Daylight. I like Charlie Clips. I like Loaded Lux, of course. I like Serious Jones.
Oh yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few I like. I don't watch it all the time because it's just like, ugh. It's like a lot to deal with, you know.
I mean,
just
it's a lot to keep up with, even, you know what I mean. But do you find the way that those guys put together their bars in such kind of like complex roundabout ways? Do you find that inspiring, or would you rather like?
It's hard.
It's
hard the way they rap. It's just like, man, can they make songs out of these? Like,
right.
Why are y'all wasting y'all bars on? But then again, I feel y'all, but.
Different strokes, man. Some people make a whole career out of just that, and then other people make it out of songs. But I know that you are gonna Zeltron versus Zombies has not taken place yet, has it?
No.
Are you guys still planning on that? Because that was like that's your battle thing that you was talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going into that?
I can't tell you, man.
It's still a secret.
It's still a secret.
Yeah.
Just know I'm still doing them.
Yeah. But you got the bars laid out for him.
Nah, it's not even for Zeltron versus Zombies. Like, Zeltron and Zombies, let me tell you about Zeltron and Zombies.
Yeah.
Zombies, they my dudes.
Yeah.
Zeltron, that's me.
Yeah.
We did what we had to do, and we all won a belt.
Yeah.
That's where we was like, yeah.
Okay.
We're a team now.
Okay.
Like, we initiated.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the League of Shadows.
Uh-huh. So, this year, you dropped Zoo.
Right.
Tell me how it's continued that progression from Imperial to Taboo and now on to this. Like, what's the span been?
honestly,
Yeah.
after Taboo, I was just like, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
And then we just ended up making this project. That was it.
And so
I just kept working after Taboo.
Yeah. And just straight into party records and shit? Or
Yeah, I just did whatever the fuck I wanted to make. I just made whatever I wanted to make.
Yeah. Are you still working with the same producers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Ronnie J, of course, too.
Okay. Yeah.
FNZ, shout out to y'all.
Yeah. Tell me about working with FNZ. I think when you link with them, that's when you can see a really distinct change in your process, or not change, but like it seems like the song started to really be looked at as like movements and completed
Bodies of work,
right? And so did those guys put some structure into the studio for you, or how does that work?
Nah, man, they just play some shit, and then I'd be like, if I feel it, I feel it. If I don't, I don't. But sometimes we make the beats together, you know. Sometimes I make it with other producers and they fix it up.
Yeah.
And that's how our recording process goes. We be cutting each other's ass, like, this is funny. Just roasting each other, like.
So there's a good
like
rapport
me and
there.
Fanatic be roasting, because he's from Australia. It's like, oh, yeah, you little fuck out. And I'll be like, man, where's your fucking boomerang? He's like.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, so you have just a comfortable rapport with those guys where you feel like a kinship, a brothership.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so does that make it easier to receive criticism and or give criticism? Like if it's like, oh, we should change this part, it just makes it easier.
We, like I said, shoot first, opinions later.
Yeah,
we try it, we don't like it, we scrap it.
That's it. Yeah.
It made it a lot smoother because we started to trust each other's judgment.
Yeah. What's life like when you're not on the road right now?
Hanging out the house.
Just chilling. Yeah. What are your hobbies?
Jacking off. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, shit.
Nah, I just, do Muay Thai.
Yeah. Tell me about Muay Thai. How'd you pick that up?
Stop smoking.
So you quit smoking and then like were you a fan of watching Muay Thai? Or are you a fan of old movies that it feature Muay Thai?
I was just a fan of martial arts, period.
Yeah.
It's an art.
Why that one?
Just the art, B.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, let me do something that's gonna keep me in shape, and then that was it.
Yeah. And are you better with your legs or with your hands?
Both.
Really?
I'm deadly with both.
Dangerous with both?
Yeah. When I kicked the pad, man, it was like, God damn, you did this before, huh? And I was like, I used to take martial arts when I was a kid.
Which martial art did you take as a kid?
Shit, it was karate.
Oh yeah, okay. What is training Muay Thai like? Does it start with a lot of like
cardio?
Cardio, calisthenics shit, and then
cardio,
ends up with sparring?
Like the calisthenics and all that stuff be like towards the end, depending on how intense the class is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be intense.
You ever thrown up at a class?
No.
So you're in pretty good shape.
I've thrown up when I ran before, but I never thrown up in a class.
How much cardio goes in at the beginning? Like just half hour, running hour?
It's just not even an hour. Like just like probably 5 to 10 minutes, like stretching and getting your ligaments in order and stuff like that, and then boom, like we get the pads, get Thai pads, and we go over the combinations. We do it slowly, and then we just go in. It's for time.
Yeah, is that your main source of physical fitness? Is the Muay Thai?
Yeah.
And do you think the physical fitness helps center you a bit and keeps you kind of leveled out and helps with? Is it a meditation of sorts? You
leave it on the mat. But I would say I meditated for the first time, and I felt like I was actually out of my body, like a few months ago.
Oh, really? Like just sat and were mindful and
I was just floating.
How was it?
It was like the experience I can't even tell you about. It's just like you're there, you're there, and then one moment you don't even feel like you're there anymore.
Have you been keeping up with meditation since then, or was it just that one time?
I don't know. It was just that one time.
When you're not at home and you're on the road, how do you stay sane? Do you like being on the road?
Yes and no.
Yeah. What's the yes and what's the no?
Yes, I like performing, doing my thing.
Yeah.
No, constantly traveling, constantly trying to find a gym, constantly trying to find food to eat, constantly trying to do that when nothing's in your reach. Sometimes Uber Eats is not even in the city.
Right. Hard to stay healthy.
Yeah, hard to stay healthy and active.
Yeah, speaking of enjoying performing, it's very clear when you see you perform that you've worked a lot on your craft. Like you don't use any backing vocals, really. It's just you and the beat. And audiences go absolutely apeshit. And I think like you have a really ruckus kind of following where they'll listen to anything you say, and you do like what is it, lines of death, or what do you call those when you split the audience in half and have them run at each other?
Yeah, that's the wall of death.
The wall of death. Like Where did you pick up some of your live show tricks of the trade? Like, did you see anybody where you're like, oh, that's a good show, I should maybe...
I mean,
yeah.
I watched Up in Smoke tour.
Yeah.
That was like a really dope tour. That's what gave me the aesthetics for like, you know, just like how things should be on stage and how I should perform and how I should rap. And then you have what they call it. I remember seeing Kanye West's Yeezus live.
Yeah.
And that's what gave me the idea for like the projections and visuals. Same with seeing Flying Lotus live. That gave me real
the
huge
3D show?
inspiration.
Is it a 3D show?
Yeah.
Oh,
real
man.
huge inspiration for like the way my visuals should look.
Yeah.
But the way the intensity and everything I take from rock genres.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Just watching them perform live and go crazy.
Yeah. How do you preserve your voice when you're up there? Because I mean, you're giving 100% every night. You never have to deal with like voice issues.
I used to, but nah, not really.
Nah,
I
you
think
just
when
have
it
to
stopped smoking, when I learned how to control my voices, that's when I was good.
Yeah, man. That's dope. Well, I think we did what we came to do, so I want you to tell me what song we are going to see you perform today.
You're going to see me perform today. You're going to see Denzel Curry, Perks, off of the dark side of Taboo.
Hell yeah. I'm excited to see it. I really appreciate you taking the time, man. This is an amazing interview. You're very easy to talk to, and it makes my job easy, so I appreciate that shit. Tell the people where they can find you online.
Yo, you can find me on Twitter, Denzel Curry. You can find me on Instagram, Denzel Curry PH. You can also find me on YouTube, which is Denzel Curry PH as well. And guess what? The only one I really use is YouTube. So...
You be in the comments and shit or what?
Yeah, I be in the comments.
Really? That's
probably not as much, but shit. After my life started going well, I was just like, man, fuck it.
You get off social media?
Yeah, I stay off that shit because everybody's toxic.
There you go. It clears up a lot of brain space not having to think about that, man.
You hearing this, people? Stay off social media.
Except YouTube, where this is going to live.
Except YouTube, because YouTube's fire.
There you go.
Other than that, all y'all motherfuckers be blowing me with that stupid-ass comment shit.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of artists feel the same way, so stop giving them a fucking hard time, you fucking dicks. Bitch ass motherfucker.
PSA. Thank you so much, man. My name is Lee. Some of you guys might know me as Intuition, and this was You Feel Me, the Skullcandy podcast, where we talk to artists and musicians about life and culture. You can find me on Twitter at It's Intuition, across all platforms. You know what it is. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe. Thank you, Denzel.
Get up off of that, man.
Ronnie J, please turn me up.